Hey, this is Brad Kazmarski back talking about FMS Confusion today. A small topic I think that needs a little bit of addressing. If you understand the SFMA, you understand it's for pain obviously, but I'm just looking at how you peel it back. It starts all standing. All the movements are standing and you peel it back. So if you can't do it standing, you break it back down from weight bearing, progressing to less weight bearing. So when you do it, it makes a lot of sense as far as you take the course or just read movement. If you read the movement book by Gray Cook, they peel the layers back. If you can't do standing, for example, then you might go to a seated, then you might go to a quadruped, then you might go to a laying, and you find where your movement dysfunction is. So if you can't do it at one level, but you can do it at the level below that, that's what you need to know, and that's where you go from. I think in the movement screen, just because of the way it's set up, no other reason, there's a lot of confusion about that. So standing is obviously the greatest expression of each pattern. But the active straight leg raise is done on the ground. The trunk stability push-up is done prone. The rotary stability is done in quadruped. And the inline lunge is kind of done in a half kneeling, you could say. And then finally, the hurdle step, shoulder mobility, and squat are done standing. Now, I'm not saying that's wrong by any means. Obviously, they're done for a purpose. But when you look at it, it's hard to know where to peel things back. So all still need to follow the rules of the progression of being able to do them on the ground level for each pattern, the quadruped, the kneeling positions, and the standing positions. So being able to do each of those basic patterns through those 4 positions, no matter where the screen is, still gets you to fix the patterns up to the greatest expression, which is the standing expression. You may need to go down to a lower level of each and correct those, but I think that's a huge confusion. If people have done the SFMA or just read the Gray Cook's description of it in movement, it makes sense when you peel the layers back. The movement screen sometimes confuses people because they're done at different levels, but you still need to follow, I say, the same 4 movement stances: ground, quadruped, kneeling, variation, and standing, to get that final expression of standing, which is where you need to be. So don't be confused by the fact that active straight leg raise is done on the ground, trunk stability is done prone, etc. Find out where they struggle, if they struggle with that pattern, where they struggle, and then follow that basic movement progression using the previous video I just did within each of those progressions, and then work your way all the way up to the standing expression of those, and you'll be where you need to be. Don't get lost by the fact that they're in different positions with the 4x4 possibly confusing you. Very straightforward. Follow the basics. Don't worry, even though they're done this way, they're done that way for a reason. Let it flow, it'll be fine.